Okay, welcome to all. Today we are going to do a study of a American painter, Denis Miller Barker. This painter is born on the 6th of November 1861 in New York, and his color studies and paintings are really interesting, so I thought we'd do this today. Here we can see I've already mixed some colors. This is the painting that we are going to try to copy. Mine will not be as dark, but only one value difference, I believe. Here we can see a study that I did to find out what color he used. And we are going to go through this in greater length once I can post videos for longer than 15 minutes. And that's how we are going to do it for now, until YouTube gives me more time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be you doing, because it will depend on how many thumbs and how many shares that you are going to give me to be able to progress in this channel and make it more interesting. In the meantime, you can understand that I will have to fast forward those videos quite a bit in order to cram in a maximum of content. So, there you see me blocking in. The color used is burnt sienna. Most of the time I start from the back and move forward. As you can see, the sky is already blocked in. I've did the houses in the background, and now I'm working on the land. I am careful that my colors are not too saturated to have that atmospheric look to it. Here we are blocking in the darks. Often I use earth colors like red oxide or burnt sienna with a touch of ultramarine blue. In this pattern, I think would have to go back to the chart, but I used alizarin crimson as well. Then carefully I'll blocking the intermediate light, always trying to keep the highlights for last. So it is important in a picture to go darker and warmer as we come to the foreground to help with depth. I carefully start mixing the dark and the light together on the edge to create a form. This is giving me the roundness of the tree. Then we move forward and notice how my colors are becoming warmer as I come forward. Once I finished blocking the foreground, I come back to my background and put in the darkest color, adjusting its lightness as I move forward, or as I move along, I should say. These darks, although they seem black, are far from it. I am always mixing my darks, and often I use some red color with ultramarine blue. It can be oxide green, alizarin crimson, or burnt sienna. Now I'm adding some darks into the foreground. I am making different shades of green, green with a bit more red or less red, or green with a bit more yellow, but that's a little further along when we go a little more to the highlights. But vary your greens to have a better result. As you can see, I dot the different greens all about, but it's not just random. I have a plan in mind for it to look as natural and as grassy as possible. Adding a few darks as I'm going to put some small twigs, bushes, etc., etc. Now we're starting breaking down the big shapes by adding some more color with differences in temperature. And so this is rendering that painting more interesting. So you will notice as well that I'm going away a little bit from the original painting, as it was a study color, but I always like to put my own touch on anything I do. Notice the warm colors in the front. There is more burnt sienna or red mixed in with the greens to get that feeling of the small clumps of herbs or bushes coming forward. So moving all over the place with little dots, some lighter, some darker. varying the shapes. And now we go back to the sky. I wasn't happy with the overall color. It needed a little bit more vibrance. So I'm going back with some purplish white and yellow and trying to the light dancing in the sky. So don't be afraid to get some color down as well, and then you always can come and work on the edges afterwards. Adding smoke coming out of the chimneys. You can see that the sky is integrating itself much better with the picture. Some sky holes, and we are going to work on some highlights now as well. Those edges were a little bit too sharp and too dark, so I come back and soften them and light them to get that distance. There you see that again it works much better. When you work on the lights or on the darks in this clump of trees, be careful to stay close with the values. Any value too high will jump out and therefore attract the eye too much. So being in the darks or in the lights, you can change the color or the warmth or the coolness of the color, but be careful to stay in the same value range. There we barely see it, but I add some differences in color in the dark also to give more interest, and they will come out more once the paint will be dry. This is the end of that little demonstration. I really hope you liked it, and if it's the case, please give me a thumbs up. Also share the video and don't forget to tap that little bell so you can get notification of the future videos. So I'd like to thank you, and I really hope that I can help you and bring something new to the YouTube community about impressionistic style of paint. So thanks again, have a lovely day, and I see you soon.